Hi, this is Joy with Obsessed with Scrapbooking, and today we're making this embossed mitten Christmas card. We'll be using the Close to My Heart Artiste Cricut cartridge and cutting these mittens out at 2 inches and this top note shape at 1 1/4. So let's get started. I'm going to be using the Close to My Heart glue pen. I love this thing. It's so great. Love it! And a word about these mittens, do not cut them smaller than 2 inches because as it is, that little top section where you can see the white through, it's very narrow and close to the edges of the mitten. And I fear if you cut it any smaller, it's just not going to go real good, and I'd hate for that to happen. Now, in order to make this embossed section, I'm using one of the fabric swatches embossing folders from the Cuttlebug. Now, what happens is that comes in a 4-pack of different folders, and this one I think really ends up making it look like it's knitted. The other thing that's nice about this too is once you've glued those pieces together and then embossed them like this, I mean, they're staying together. They become one, like really one. So in a minute, I'm going to show you a close-up of just how like knitted they look. You can kind of tell here, but I just love the effect of this, especially for, see, there you go, especially for Christmas. Isn't that fun? Very excited about that. All right, moving on. All this paper is from Anna Griffin. Love my Anna. She makes the best Christmas paper. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I used a card pattern from the Make It From the Heart Volume 1 book from Close to My Heart. They've got some nice pattern books. They're like $7.50 each, which is a nice price. They're both called Make It From the Heart Volumes 1 and 2. And they've got some nice, when they lay out a card, I mean, they tell you exactly what sizes to cut things out. There's no wondering at all. So that's kind of really a nice part about it. Here I'm just using some twine to connect the two mittens, and my favorite, the Scotch tape. It's just so easy. Highly recommend the Scotch tape, as you guys know who watch these videos. So I'm going to get started with this topiary and tulip ink. I like the red that the tulip stamps. It's awesome. And I'm using a new stamp set. It's called Holiday Tags, and it has all kinds of holidays. It's got Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Halloween, obviously Merry Christmas. It's got a bunch of things. And the tags on it coordinate with the Cricut Artiste cartridge, which is the same one we're using to cut out these mittens. So that's kind of handy. And I'm just going to stamp the outline here in topiary. Now, you guys, sometimes the stamping doesn't go so good. So guess what? Turn it over. You can always turn it over. It's just such a handy thing to remember because I don't know, these things can happen, and if you have a uniform shape, it's just so easy to turn over and start again. Next up, I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas using the tulip Close to My Heart ink, and as I just told you guys, love that red that's on the tulip. I just think it's a nice Christmassy red, so I'm going to go ahead and get that centered. That's a close fit in there. But it worked. Yay! Love it when that happens. Now it's just time to stick everything down. I've got some pop dots here, and I'm just going to get that stuck down. Oop. And we're on our way. I'm going to pop dot that up, and then the mittens themselves, I'm just going to use the Scotch ATG gun to adhere that. So I just get all these little pieces stuck down. Now, a word about the sizing here. Since I've gone ahead and I'm using this pattern, I can give you some of the sizes. I'm actually going to write those out at the end of this write-up, but I can tell you the card base size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what I'm doing here is I've taped down that card front. I like to make the card front and then stick it to the card in case I want to wrap ribbon around or do something else. And I've used some painter's tape to tape it to this Close to My Heart Versamat. And the reason I do that is as soon as I have to start laying papers, little strips of paper in the middle of the paper, well, I start getting nervous I'm going to mess that up. So that's basically why I'm doing that, because I can kind of line it up based on those lines on the Versamat. So just trying to avoid any potential problems. Now you'll notice here some of these strips are kind of hanging out. I meant to cut those the right length, and obviously that didn't happen, so just going to use the scissors to trim that out. I don't know how that happened, but there you go. These things do happen, so easy enough to fix. And then finally, I'm just going to use my Scotch ATG again. If I didn't mention it, you get this at Michael's. Use a coupon, please. And the great thing about it is that all the tape comes in 36 yards as opposed to 36 feet, which is typically what you get in adhesive. And it's a really good price, so you got to try it if you haven't. This piece of paper is 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm scoring it at 5 1/2 to create the card base. I'm using the Score Pal, which is my favorite friend to score and use. And now basically just going to stick it to the card front. The reason I'm putting the Scotch ATG on the card front, on the card itself, is because you'll remember I pop dotted that Merry Christmas part up. Well, if you start running the Scotch ATG gun on it, I mean, you can do it, but you might kind of ruin things. Finally, I'm just going to finish off the inside of the card, and we're set to go. Again, everything was made using the Close to My Heart Artiste cartridge, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave me any comments, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. I thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.